Yo guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. So we're back in Ghost of Yotei on my PS5 Pro, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you more of the free roam mode and going over more of the details that I learned about the graphics modes, whether it be ray tracing Pro mode, and also the quality and performance mode. So first I'll start off by showing you the setting that we're currently using. And I might as well go over the actual settings I did learn about. Okay, so I'll start off with quality mode. Quality mode is a dynamic resolution scaling of 4K, so it could be exactly 4K resolution or a little bit lower. It's dynamic. Performance mode, now that's going to target 60 FPS, but it's going to be around, I think it was 1830p resolution, so not quite 4K, but a little bit below. And then ray tracing mode is going to use PSSR upscaling, and that's going to target a resolution of 1728p. And then there's ray tracing pro mode, which targets 1080p and 60 FPS. So we're going to start off with ray tracing mode, which is going to use the PSSR upscaling. And it's only 30 FPS, but I did want to start off with that mode because that's going to be kind of the higher end mode for the PS5 Pro. And then from then on, we'll go to the quality mode, which, like I said, targets dynamic resolution scaling of 4K with 30 FPS. And then we'll try performance mode, 60 FPS with, I think it was 1830p resolution. And then we'll finish off with ray tracing pro mode, which, like I said, is 60 FPS with 1080p render resolution at 60 FPS with some ray tracing features. Another thing that I did learn is my prior videos, I noticed that everything was like in a widescreen mode while I was on the horse. If you hit R3, so you push in on the right analog stick, you get this full screen mode, which definitely looks a whole lot better, and that kind of captures the same visuals that you would get on Ghost of Tsushima. So I'm not really sure why they did the widescreen letterbox format, but I did find out that you can get rid of that feature by just hitting R3 on your right analog stick. So that's pretty cool. I did learn that. And then, like I said, I learned a little bit more about the different graphics quality settings. So we're going to do some free roam exploration and show each graphics mode. And I've always kind of liked the ray tracing mode, and the ray tracing pro mode was probably going to be the best option because you're going to have 60 FPS along with ray tracing. The only unfortunate thing is that it's going to be at a lower render resolution of 1080p. But I made a little progress since my last video. I got a different little armor set. Unlocked a few items, nothing too crazy. I got to choose my actual horse and name it. So I did a few little progress, a little bit behind the scenes I did get on video. But like I said, we'll do a little free roam exploration. We'll see if we can engage in some battles. And then in the meantime, I'll talk about each, actually showcase each different graphics mode. And we'll take things from there. But so far, I've been really enjoying the game. I do think it's pretty cool. I know there's been a lot of controversy about, you know, in terms of what the developers were saying and their political views, which I certainly don't want to talk about, and I'm not, you know, for what they said, so I don't really want to talk about that, but yeah. It's just one of those things, you know, I have no control over, but I am a huge fan of Ghost of Tsushima, so I figured I'd come back to this game to see what it has to offer. And I look forward to playing it on the PC in the near future when it does get released on the PC. But until now, we'll enjoy it on the PS5 Pro. Guess that's like a camping area. So yeah, with the ray tracing mode, like I said, it is only 30 FPS, so the movement is actually not as smooth. But it is nice to have the ray trace features and ray trace global illumination. It does give a nice visual look. Alright, so now let's go ahead and let's switch over to the quality mode, which is, like I said, is going to be a dynamic resolution scaling of 4K at 30 FPS. So this is actually going to be a higher resolution, but it's going to be without ray tracing, so do keep that in mind. And I really haven't explored that much of the environment.
Someone's out there. Go take a
So
look.
let's go ahead and let's get the standoff battle done and have a nice chat.
I'll enjoy this. Unreal! How? Unreal! Your face is on a bounty poster. I am here to collect. You will never drive Lord Saito's forces from this place. Enough! You win.
Better start talking. Where can I find more of Saito's forces?
They captured the outcrop homestead. Turned it into a stronghold.
Better start running.
My mushrooms!
So yeah, there's more aspects in the battles, like the fights. They could disarm you, and you could disarm them. Of course, there's more weapons. So there's a lot of new aspects to the title that I am still learning at the moment. But it is pretty cool that they further progressed on making more different ways of engaging in the battle. So it is pretty cool. Again, I'm still pretty new to this title. I'm still learning everything, so it is all still kind of new to me. But slowly, as I progress more in the game, I'll probably pick up more on better techniques and stuff. I think we got a bear over there. Shit, I can't even see. I'm gonna die, guys. Damn. For some reason, I just had the controls all mixed up for some reason. I don't know why I was pushing the wrong buttons there. Wasn't a very good battle with the bear. I guess I kind of panicked. And yeah, you could unlock more different areas when you do explore. You could also actually go up Mount Yōtei, which I think would be normally Mount Fuji in Japan. But that's something that you'll probably want to do later in the game. But you can actually go up there, go inside the volcano and explore. And there's different weather environments, whether it be snow, rain, and all the lighting effects are all still very much well done. As expected by this title's developers. There's a lot to explore, a lot to learn, and it is really cool to take in all the visuals. Different colors, varieties, plants. It's all very nice. Alright, so that shows you the 4K dynamic resolution scaling of quality mode, which basically enhances the standard PS5 features, but on the PS5 Pro it further enhances the resolution. Alright, so now let's switch over to the performance mode, which I think, if I remember correctly, targets... I think it was 1800p. I may have said it the first time I introduced the video earlier, but it's a lower resolution, but it does have 60 FPS and of course no ray tracing. But it probably is a good setting to run because the movement is going to be somewhat smoother.
Doing out here.
And you're still going to have a higher resolution than the ray tracing mode. Looks like this might be a little bit too much for me, I'm not sure.
And the Oni are behind that gate.
Spare some kindness?
Stop right there.
Yeah, I don't think I want to go
The
here.
yokai walk among us, child.
Masks to ward off demons.
But which demons? The ones torching the plains, or the ones buried within? With old Saburo's masks, maybe you can keep both at bay.
Oh yeah, so it was 1830p, I think was the resolution.
Setting fire to Ishikari Plain?
The Oni and his raiders, of course. I make masks for those who wish to protect themselves from such demons. You could purchase one now for the journey ahead, or visit me later at the Oni's Breath Inn.
Yeah, I don't have that many funds right now, so I'm not going to spend any money on masks. Sounds like he's pissed off. But like I said, the performance mode, actually, I think it was 1800p resolution with 60 FPS. I think it's a good mode to play because you get higher FPS, smoother motion, and you still get really good visuals. I think that's actually another good setting if you don't want to worry about having a ray trace global illumination. Still looks very, I think, presentable and clear and crisp. And again, this game's lighting engine is always like so variable. Like sometimes with the sunrise or sunset, it just looks so beautiful with the glistening flowers and plants. It's just such a really beautiful game to admire. All the different colors and visuals and lighting effects. It's really well done. And the same story with Ghost of Tsushima was. But I think this just further enhances it even more. But like I said, I'm still kind of new at everything here, so I'm still kind of exploring and seeing what the game engine does have to offer. But slowly, the world is definitely opening up and looking really nice overall. Alright, so that gives you a good look at the performance mode, which like I said targets 1800p resolution without ray tracing. And then starting this video, I did try the ray tracing mode, so now we will try ray tracing pro mode, which is going to target 60 FPS, but with a render resolution of 1080p resolution. So just looking at the details, you can tell it is a lower resolution, but again, you get that 60 FPS, much smoother motion. And if you did want to have ray tracing and ray trace global illumination, it is a nice preset to use. But like I said, you are going to have a lower resolution, but I think it still looks very good either way. I can definitely tell it looks a little bit more blurry. But in some areas, like when the lighting really shines, like I said, this setting still looks very good, I think, overall. But for myself, since I'm a PC gamer, I think I'm probably going to end up more using the performance mode, just standard performance mode. It won't have ray tracing, but it will obviously have a higher resolution with 60 FPS. I think that might be a good setting to run. And in some ways, I also want to run the ray tracing mode, like the higher resolution ray tracing mode, but it would only target 30 FPS. So it's kind of a tough choice. But I'll try to mix things up from every video, and I'll talk about which setting I'll use before I start a video. And let me know in the comments if you want to see more of this title. I know, like I said, there were some controversy in this game, but I think a lot of people are very curious about the story and further aspects of unlocking newer weapons. And I look forward to definitely playing more of it and making some more videos. So let me know if you want to see more. And either way, I'll still record some footage when I have time. And we'll take things there. But again, that brings to you Ghost Yotei on my PS5 Pro. And stay tuned for more videos as always. And also stay tuned for more video benchmarks.
Homestead taken over by Saito's men.
On my RTX 5090 graphics card. And we'll take things there. But thanks for watching. Appreciate all the support. Happy weekend. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys around. Thanks for watching, and peace out.